There is one word in particular that I find to be a real problem when I see high volume practitioners putting it on their website, their Google page, or whatever. So I'm going to make a plea to all of you out there today, all of you that are seeing 3, 4, 5 patients an hour, all of you that are forcing your employees to see multiple patients at the same time. I'm going to make a small plea to all of you, a very small plea to help me out and to help the way we represent our profession to the community. And we're going to talk about what that is right after the intro. Don't go anywhere. Stop defending mediocrity in our profession. Thanks for joining me on the podcast today. This is the Dr. Krol PT and Fitness Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Lee Krol, physical therapist, as always. And I wanted to talk about something today, which is the representation of our industry, of our profession to the general public. One thing that I see all the time is I know there's a lot of clinics out there and they see 2, 3, 4, 5 patients at the same time. And they're juggling people around, putting them on the new step for 10 minutes, electric stim, hot packs, whatever. All these things that are just done so they can stack patients up. But I know my podcast isn't going to make a current business owner change the way they do things. They've already set up their businesses inappropriately. They've rented too much space for the $45 reimbursement that they can get for 3 units. They just set up their business a certain way, and it's not going to change at this point in time. So I'm well aware that this isn't going to change thanks to my podcast. But what I want from all of you out there, all of you can do me one favor. I look around at people's websites. I'll look at their Google page. I'll look at their Facebook page, Instagram, whatever, LinkedIn. It doesn't matter. It's all their same social media outreach. I'll look at all of it, and I see the same thing over and over and over again. The same 2 words. It's usually one of these 2 words, committed or dedicated. One of these 2 words, I see it all the time. I see on websites of places that I know are high volume clinics. I know it. Everybody that works there knows it. I know people who have worked there or do work at these places. It doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. It's high volume, high turnover, just mill type clinics where they're doing the same thing over and over and over again with every single patient. And I look on their websites and I see the same thing. It says dedicated or committed to high quality care, or dedicated, committed to the best physical therapy care. And what I want you to do is I want you to change that. I know you're not going to change the way you operate your clinic. But if you could do me and the general public a favor, change that. And here's how you know if you need to change it. Do your therapists ever see more than 1 patient at a time? If the answer is yes, then you need to change it because you're not dedicated or committed to high quality or the best physical therapy care out there. You're just not. You're committed to volume. Volume is when you're seeing more than 1 patient at a time. That's when you're committed to volume. It's a business decision. You've sacrificed patient care to get more patients in the door. Now, I get it. I understand. If you've sized your business inappropriately, that's what needs to happen. You need to see more patients at the same time. I understand that. You're not going to move your business out of there right off the bat just because of my podcast. But stop misrepresenting our profession to the general public. And I'm a big believer in changing the culture of the physical therapy profession and changing the way the public sees us. Because I hear a lot of things about physical therapy from the general public that are not very flattering. But I know that they're true. I know that the person went in and got the cookie cutter exercise program. I know the person went into the clinic and was seen with 3 or 4 other patients. I just had someone telling me about a week and a half ago that he went to go see his physical therapist a while back, and he did a little experiment. He went into the corner, played on his phone for 35 minutes. The physical therapist came over and said, "Oh, you all done with your exercises? Good job." He didn't do a single exercise. He just sat there on his phone. And the PT never even noticed. Nobody noticed. Nobody cared. Why? Because they were seeing too many patients at the same time. But if you go to their website, they will say, committed to giving the highest quality physical therapy care available. So when the general public looks at those websites and they hear that message repeatedly, dedicated, committed, whatever, they hear that message repeatedly, then what happens is they think that's what physical therapy is. That there's no levels of care. It's just, that's what it is. It would be like Applebee's going out there saying they're dedicated to providing the best quality steak in the area. They're not, and they don't say that they are. So I had an argument / discussion with a clinic owner one time, and she said, well, what are we supposed to say? That we give out bad care? That we load up our therapists? Are we supposed to say that? And my response to her was, what does McDonald's do? Looked at me very confused. Why are you talking about McDonald's in a physical therapy discussion? I have been around for more than a couple decades, and I have seen McDonald's advertising in just about every format possible, whether it's print, radio, television, social media, internet, doesn't matter. I've seen all sorts of different McDonald's advertising. I have never heard McDonald's ever say, best burger in Toledo, Ohio, best burger in Rochester, best burger in Syracuse, best burger in Appleton, Wisconsin, best burger in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I've never heard any of that. You know why? Because it's not true and they know it. They never talk about the quality of their food. If they do it, it's exceedingly rare. When they run the McRib sandwich every year, they don't ever say, this is the best rib sandwich you'll ever get. They don't say that. They talk about volume. So close to my house, close to my parents' house, I should say, when I was growing up, there was a McDonald's and the 2 big golden arches were there. And underneath those golden arches was written, billions and billions served. That's all that was written. Billions and billions served. McDonald's talks about volume. That's what they do well. They do volume. If you look at a McDonald's and across the street will be a Wendy's or a Burger King, and you look in the morning, the cars are going through McDonald's a lot faster than they are everybody else. Why? McDonald's is committed to high volume. They don't ever talk about their quality. The basic idea, and McDonald's does not pee on your back and tell you it's raining. McDonald's basic idea is, if you come into a McDonald's with $10 in your hand, within 3 to 5 minutes, you'll be out the door with a hot passable meal and change in your pocket. That is the idea. It's fast, it's inexpensive. They don't talk about quality, it's just passable. They don't say it's the best burger anywhere. So, what can you do as a physical therapy clinic owner? What can you change it to? Should you say on your website, dedicated to pushing through as many patients as possible with the same cookie cutter care? That's probably not what you want to write. But why couldn't you write, committed to serving the physical therapy needs of Niagara Falls, of Buffalo, New York, of Toledo, Ohio, of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, of Northwest Pennsylvania? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what locale you're in. Doesn't that sound a lot better and more honest, more forthcoming than saying committed to the highest quality physical therapy care when that's not the case? You're seeing more than one patient at a time. You're committed to volume, not care. You've sacrificed care for volume. And it is what it is. Just be forthcoming about it. So again, why can't you change it to something like committed to serving the physical therapy needs of insert locale here? Why can't you talk about we can get you in within 2 to 3 days, not 2 to 3 weeks. Talk about the things that you're actually doing, the things that you actually focus your business upon. Again, if it's not quality, then don't talk about quality. It's the same thing with trying to get a steak in Western New York. Applebee's doesn't talk about the high quality steak. You can get a steak at a lot of places, but when you're going out for an anniversary, a birthday, a big event, there's only 3 or 4 different steakhouses in Western New York that you're going to, and these are the places that are committed and dedicated to quality. And if you're listening to this and you think, there's nothing wrong with us saying we're dedicated or committed to high quality, we are. We want our patients to get better. We want our therapists to do a good job. Sure, that may be what you want, but you're not committed to it. If I'm committed to my financial future, I'm not playing the lottery and saying, well, I'm buying lottery tickets, so I'm clearly invested in my future. This could win me a couple $1 million. No, I would invest my money into something more safe, stable, and reasonable. If you're booking your therapist to see 2 patients at the same time, then unfortunately, you're not committed to quality. You're committed to volume. And just be forthcoming about it and just mention that to the general public. The problem I've always had with the way we represent our profession is that this is what the general public feels about us, and we don't like it, but they're not incorrect. They're talking about, well, I was seen with 3 other therapists at the same time, or I always got a hot pack, or I always got electric stim, or they always put me on this goofy new step machine every single time I came in, or the therapist wasn't really watching what I was doing, they were just typing notes on their laptop. And these are the type of things that the patients pick up on, and these are the type of things that get patients to go to a chiropractor's office instead of a PT. Nothing against chiropractors. Chiropractors are fine, but they're going to choose. They're going to make the choice. Who do I really trust and who do I want to go see? The chiropractor or the PT? Well, at least the chiropractor is going to spend 8 minutes with me one-on-one. They're going to spend 15 minutes with me one-on-one. Maybe the same 7 manipulations every time, but at least they're going to be spending the time with me. They're not going to be having me go off in the corner and do a bunch of useless things just to get paid. And when we don't represent our profession the right way, this pushes our customers. I mean, let's be honest. This is a business as well. It pushes our customers into the doors of yoga instructors and Pilates instructors and personal trainers who don't have the education or the medical license that we do, but they're willing to spend the time with them. People will trust a yoga instructor with 500 hours of instruction and training versus us with 6 to 7 years of education and medical training and many weeks in clinical rotations. They'll trust that before they trust us because of what we've done in terms of putting out high quality or best physical therapy care and then seeing 4 patients at the same time. This is our own fault. And if we don't change that, if we don't change the way we represent ourselves, then this is just going to keep happening, and the value of our product is going to keep going down and down and down. We're not going to have a leg to stand on to tell an insurance company, pay us more money. And these are all just little pieces of the puzzle. The way we represent ourselves is as important as anything else. If we say we're committed to high quality care, we're committed to best care, then you damn well better mean it. You better mean that I'm committed to high quality care. I put best practice first every single time before business. And a lot of places, what they'll do is they'll book 2 patients at the same time because one might cancel. I see 1 patient at a time every single time. My cancellation and no-show rate is significantly lower than any clinic I know of. Any high volume clinic has a much higher cancellation rate. I'm not talking about gross number of cancellations or no-shows. I'm talking the rate. I get maybe 1 no-show every 8 months. Usually if I get a no-show, it's because there was a miscommunication in scheduling. And it was like, oh, I thought my appointment was on this day, or I thought it was on that day. Cancellations, exceedingly rare without an issue. I don't have people that cancel and say, yeah, I'll call you back when I'm ready to come back in. That doesn't happen. When they cancel, there's a very good reason for it, and it's almost always a cancel and an immediate reschedule on their part. I don't get the cancellations and no-shows and drop-offs that high volume clinics get. So I don't have to say, well, I'm going to schedule 2 people at the same time just in case one doesn't show up. At least we still have some money coming in. That's the mentality that happens with a lot of these high volume clinics. But it's like a mechanism where they're feeding into itself. People are canceling and not showing up because they don't find the product valuable. They have something else that comes up or that they'd rather do, they cancel the physical therapy appointment, or they just don't show up. Who cares? Why not? I'm just going to be I'm just going to be doing the hot pack and the new step and the same exercises I do at home anyway. What's the difference? Why should I go in when I can do almost all this stuff at home? Kind of hard to argue with them on that. And it's kind of hard to argue when I talk to people outside of the clinic that have that same exact issue. And that's what they come up with. I can't argue with them. I can't defend the profession. All I can defend is what I'm doing and what I know a few other really good high-level practitioners in the area are doing. I know a couple other one-on-one therapists that do a fantastic job. They run their clinic the right way. They run their clinic dedicated and committed to the highest quality of care. They run their clinic dedicated and committed to best physical therapy care. And what they are, those practitioners, they are the exact image that we want to present to the general public. This is what physical therapy really can do for you. And when I see them stating that they're dedicated to one-on-one care, I'm all for it. Thumbs up. I know you guys are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're presenting yourself in a forthcoming manner to the patients out there, and the patients are not getting the wrong idea about what physical therapy really is and what physical therapy can do for the general public. That's a real problem. And as you can tell, if you've listened to this couple episodes of this podcast already, I'm really big on the way we present ourselves to the public and the way we run our businesses. I mean, really, it is a business. I'm not going to bullshit around it. It is. It's business. We need to make money. If we're not making money, we can't help anybody. But we have to present ourselves in a way that our product does not devalue over time more than it already is. We have to start adding value to the product. We have to start running our businesses in a way that's going to add value to the general public and make them say, I'm going to go see #PT first. Right now, when I see people seeing 3, 4, 5 patients an hour and then they post on their LinkedIn, #PT first, I think to myself, I know how you practice. You're the last PT anybody should be going to see first. If we want PT first and we want to really sink our teeth into the direct access that we have, then we need to practice at that level. And if you're not going to practice at that level, then don't say you are. Don't tell the general public you're practicing at that level. McDonald's doesn't say the best burger in town. They don't ever say that because they know it's not true. They don't talk about quality. They don't set people's expectations to be, I'm going to go there and get the best burger in town. They have the burger. They're like, wow, this was really mediocre. I don't know why they're saying they have the best burger in town. What are they saying that for? When people go to your website, when they go to your Facebook page, your Google page, whatever it is, whatever way they have of finding you, and they see best practice, highest quality care, and then they walk in and nothing. They see the therapist running around with 4 other patients. They get the same cookie cutter exercise sheet out of a drawer. They have a hot pack every single time. People aren't stupid. They know that this is not high quality care, but you said it was, so maybe that's all physical therapy has to offer. Maybe I'll go see my chiropractor. Maybe I'll go to this yoga instructor who's actually going to spend time with me. Maybe I'll pay a yoga instructor $100, $150 an hour to work with me independently, and I'm going to complain about a $35 copay with a PT. That's what happens when we bring the value of our product down. And the way we represent it on our websites, the way we represent it on our company's mission statements, the way we represent it on our social media, it matters. It really matters. People don't think it does. People use just the typical cookie cutter corporate business jargon nonsense, throw it on their website and just call it a day. They don't think about it. They don't think about what type of an effect that has on the general public and what type of effect that has on our profession as a whole. So again, check out your website. Be honest about the way that you're running your business. Be honest and forthcoming about the way that you're presenting the physical therapy product, and just talk about it that way. Change that line. Change it right to committed to serving the physical therapy needs of whatever locale you're in. Done. No problem then. You haven't talked about quality. Don't mention quality anywhere if quality is not your main focus. Again, if quality is not your main focus, don't mention it anywhere. Put the patients first, always best practice, always one-on-one care. If you do that, have at it. Throw dedicated and committed and everything else you want on your website. But as soon as you start pushing volume, you're no longer committed or dedicated to any of that. Don't tell the general public that you are. This is Dr. Lee Krol signing off for the Dr. Krol PT and Fitness podcast. If you got this far, you need to hit that subscribe button. You need to get those notifications and hear that little ding letting you know there's new content coming every Monday and Tuesday. Hit that like button, share it, spread the word around. Even if you're saying, oh, I can't believe this guy's saying all these bad things. I'm not saying these bad things because I hate the profession. I'm saying these bad things, because I want our profession to do better and I want our profession to have a higher standing in the community. So again, hit that subscribe, like it, share it, get the word out, and I will see you next time for the fitness podcast, which is on Tuesdays. This is the rehab side of things on Monday. I'll see you next time. Take care.